And welcome to everybody, and welcome to Saturday Night Live. Glad to see everybody here. Great to see you. Hey, look who came in there. I see Walter's in here. we're going to get a list of everybody that's up and running. Let's pop that chat out. Glad to see everybody here tonight. And we do have a lot of information, guys, tonight. And please smash that like button on the bottom of the screen. It helps out you and us also. Tonight is going to be a big one. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things and a lot of information that has been coming around to us for the last week and a half. We're going to finish it up on the MMR shot, and we got some new information on that one. We're also going to be talking about the new Russian sub that is out on mainstream media, and the FEMA is starting to prep for an asteroid. Why are they doing that? So let's get in here and say hi to everybody. But first and foremost, guys, our old friend is back. And here he is to tell you where he's been. Guys, welcome back, our good buddy Merle.
Hi, guys. I have just been awfully busy and working in the garden. My wife has more things for me to do than I can get done, but I am happy to be back this evening, and I'm looking forward to a good show and seeing a lot of people in the chat. It's looking good so far, for sure.
Welcome back, bud. Good to see you. Playing with
Wonderful.
Playing with our new toys. All right, so we have in the house, we got so many people that are on here already. We have Two Wild Onions Homestead. Thanks for joining us. Brian is in here. Good to see you, pal. Sandy K, love you, sis. Glad you're in here. Tommy, our paid troll, is in here. Merle. Sybil, great to see you, sister. What is that one? Rules in here. Sleek and Talk. Micro Homesteaders in here. Melissa Truth Live is in here. And I'm sure if Anointed One was in here or is in here. Let's see, did I miss anybody? Walter Davis, thank you so much for coming. Great to see you too, my friend. So Two Family, his name is Lisa, or her name is Lisa, so thank you for coming in. He's been here for a while now. Guys, don't forget, share it out, tweet it out, do whatever is possible, because tonight's going to be a big one. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things. And Merle's been working hard behind the scenes there. Hey, Hooper Digger's in here. How's it going, my friend? Great to see you. So if you guys have not noticed or have not heard in the last 3 days, the mainstream media has been talking tremendously about the MMR shot. And we discussed that the other night. I just had a wild hair up my butt that I figured I needed to discuss this because this is getting out of hand. Merle sent me a link. I finally watched it and blew my top. So we're going to finish up tonight with a few other things that we found out on that. Also, all of a sudden, Russia has decided to come and show the whole world their new attack sub. So we have some great articles and pictures of that. And why is FEMA preparing for an asteroid attack? We're going to be talking about that tonight also. And, of course, whatever comes up in the chat. Dear Levels Festival Survival, thanks for joining us. Glad to see you. Moon's in the house. Moon is in the house. So, first and foremost things, it is 5:03. It's time to say our prayer. So, obviously before that, we do have our prayer stream icon that comes up, and then we'll pop back and we'll be coming back with the prayer. So, Lord, protect those that are in the chat tonight and those that are away from us, and protect those that are in need. Please bless this live stream so that we can have a clean and very fruitful chat tonight. And as we remember that you're always on the top of our mind, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray. Please bless those that are ill and not able to come tonight. And those that are needing to hear this, Lord, please bring them to the stream. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Okay. So tonight we're going to finish up on the MMR
Vaccines.
shots. Yeah, vaccines. And Merle has, while I plug in my ear set here so we don't get cross-reference here. Merle has some stuff here that he's going to share with you guys.
Yeah, I have just put a link in the chat, and I hope this doesn't get too boring. But I think Mark was working with one of Dr. Berman's videos the other night, or last couple of nights, or something like that. And this was the first one that I'm going back to. There are a couple of things in there that I just like to hit on, but because I think they're really kind of important. And for those of you that already know about vaccines and all that, just kind of bear with us for a little bit, because we do feel like if we only just get one, wake up one person to what's kind of going on, that it's almost worth it. So you guys can read along with me if you want, because I left that URL in the chat. And I'll give you the timestamps as where I'm going to be reading from. And I would like to have been able to show you this, but I didn't have time to type it out, and I'm afraid YouTube would lose their mind if they saw us using somebody else's work. So let's go to timestamp 329, I believe it is. And what we're looking at here is a letter that Adam Schiff, House of Representatives, and I won't make fun of his name, but he wrote Zuckerberg at Facebook a letter, and I thought everybody should know about this letter. He says, as more Americans use the internet and social media platforms as their primary source of information, it is important that we explore the quality of the information that they receive, particularly on issues that directly impact the health and well-being of Americans, as well as the billions who use your site around the world. Accordingly, I am writing out of my concern that Facebook and Instagram are surfacing and recommending messages that discourage parents from vaccinating their children, and a direct threat to public health and reversing progress made in tackling vaccine preventable diseases. And he goes on and on and on. Well, you know, I'm one of those guys that still believes in that it's okay for us to discuss things amongst ourselves. You know, we don't all have to agree. And for him to come into Facebook and tell them what they ought to and ought not be able to say and talk about in that platform, I'm just not really all that happy about. Well, there was an answer. Someone else wrote, and that's going to be at 5:03. And if you guys have any questions or anything,
They say that the availables on it, or the video's unavailable, Merle.
Really? Let me try it again. Could be they're doing something to us on purpose here. I am on the site, and I'm going to, if this doesn't work, just search for, let's try this first. I'm going to put it back in the chat. And if it doesn't work this time, just let me know. And we'll do something else. We'll keep trying till we get it right. Yeah, it worked for me this time. I lost my chat, and I'm going to have to go back and find it. But other than that, maybe we can continue on. At timestamp 5:03, take me a second to get there. I think it's 5:03 anyway. We're going to have to miss that one. But anyway, there was another letter written, and basically that letter said exactly what I just did, and that was that in the United States of America, we should be able to discuss whatever we want to. We don't have to agree with whatever the government's opinion is on anything. We just don't have to. So at timestamp 1335, and I know this is just a little bit boring, trying to get to the right places. 1335, we will. It's kind of hard to hit those right on the nose. But this is from the FDA, fda.gov, and you can get the websites by looking at this video. But it states that excretions of small amounts of the live attenuated rubella virus from the nose or throat has occurred in the majority of susceptible individuals 7 to 28 days after vaccination. That means, to me, that they're out there passing this live virus around for 7 to 28 days after they get vaccinated. So, consequently, transmission through close personal contact, while accepted as a theoretical possibility, is not regarded as a significant risk. Really? Okay, well, maybe not. In 1986, everybody should know that in 1986, the vaccine manufacturers were put in a category all of their own, meaning that they cannot be sued for anything that happens to you or your family after you get one of these vaccines. If your baby gets a vaccine within 12 hours of birth and dies the next day, it's just one of those things. It's just part of the price of doing business. I don't think that's right. And there's a lot of things that have happened since 1986, since they were put in this position where they can't be sued, that's just it'll make you crazy if you really get into it. And I have actually gotten into it a little deeper probably than I should have. Let's go next to 2611. A little something in there that I wanted to touch on. 2611. This is from the Journal of Trace Elements in Medicine and Biology. They state that aluminum levels in vaccine is based on immune efficacy and ignores the body weight for safety. Several critical mistakes have been made in the consideration of pediatric dosing of aluminum in vaccines. And to make a long story short, on day one of life, infants receive 17 times more aluminum than would be allowed if doses were adjusted per body weight. So, where's everybody's head at here? And I realize that they can't find anything to replace the aluminum, but something else needs to be done. There's too many people ending up with autism, which is something else to take a good look at. And in, I don't know, what was it? In 1986, the cases of autism were like, I don't know, 1 in 400,000 or something like that. Now they are 1 in 38. 1 in 38 kids will end up with autism. That's not something that we can live with. And they say by 2025, it will be 1 in 2. And what are we going to do? We're going to have to step up and start opening our mouth and talking and showing up with the seething frog in the neon vest or something. I don't know. But
those are some really crazy numbers too, Merle. I mean, that's just I was reading that last night, and then when you brought it to my attention today, 1 in 2, that's unbelievable.
That's every other baby being born will be autistic in some shape or form. And it's just not something that we can live with. And as far as I'm concerned, it's all about the money. It really is.
Yep, follow money.
They say that every vaccine that they're able to sell and put on their list of vaccines that everybody's going to have to take is 1 billion with a B, $1 billion. Well, that's nuts, And here they are making all this money and can't even be sued if they do something wrong. I don't know. It's
and that's a huge thing. What you just commented on there. If something is wrong, they can just walk away and say, "Oh, my bad. I don't have any problem with it." But somebody just lost a child because of that.
To be honest, what they've actually done is, I believe it's 75 cents out of the cost of every vaccine that anyone gets is put in this pot. And if someone comes forward and says and can prove that the vaccine caused some problem, they'll take some money out of that pot and give it to you. And, like money's going to replace your kids, So I tell you a story, too. This is a true story. My wife fell, and she actually had a bruised place on her head, and she was bleeding a little bit. Nothing serious, but we took her to the hospital, make sure she was okay. And the doctor there suggested that she get a tetanus shot. And I said, well, we don't take vaccines, but a tetanus shot maybe is in order for this situation. What I didn't know was that he gave her a shot that had somewhere in the neighborhood of a dozen vaccines in it. But he didn't tell us. And we flatly told him we wanted no vaccines. So you really got to be careful out there. I mean, you really, really do.
Anyway, to jump on top of what Merle's talking about, that video that I shared with you guys the other night, it has all of the shots that are combined now into one. So not only does it tell you how many shots that you're getting as your child will get, but it also talks about the shots that are tied together.
I believe, as it stands right now, that a child born today, if they don't change it, will receive 71 shots of 13 different vaccines. And they're just about to pass laws, if they have. I think you talked about maybe California and New York, where they're passing laws that adults will have to take, I think, 13 different vaccines to be able to walk out of their house. So it's getting completely out of hand. I mean, it just is. Some people, they're not allowed to take vaccines because of their religious problems. Well, they've gotten to where they won't even look at that anymore, and the only person that can save you from a vaccine is your doctor, and your doctor is unable to take all the tests and do all the things that would keep you from doing it, having to take that vaccine. So I don't know.
The moral of the story is, guys, is that do your research, ask the questions, and say, what else is tied to that shot? What else are you giving me? What don't I know about? Where's the piece of paperwork that shows me what's in that shot? Where are the bad things that are with that shot? What are the side effects of that shot? Those are the questions that are to make them doctors become very uncomfortable, because it puts them back in the spotlight and saying they have to explain it to you. And that's the part of it too. First and foremost is that we still are in control of our bodies at this point in time, and we can say, no, I don't want this, but it is coming where down the line is they're going to try to push this. And what Merle's talking about is actually coming to your door and knocking on the door and say, hey, you don't have this shot. Guess what?
Yeah, they're going to do that.
And they can go in to get the district attorney and have them come out with a warrant. Hey, you don't have your shot. That's where this is going.
It absolutely is going there. And I'd just like to say, in kind of wrapping this up, because I know Mark's talked about it maybe a couple of days this week, this doctor, Dr. John Berman, he's a chiropractor. But I tell you what, the guy knows much more than most doctors. He really does. And he teaches. He teaches doctors a lot of things too. So
and that link is in Thursday night's video in the bottom. You can find that in the description. It's in there, and I checked it. It works. So you can actually click on it and you can watch it.
And this last one that I put in is working too. If it's Dr. John Bergman. What's neat about it is he's funny. He'll tell you a horrible story and make you laugh, but he will also always back up everything he says with facts. So he's not just somebody out there running his mouth. He believes in what he's trying to do. And I think we can probably move on to something else, but I just had to get that out there. So thanks, guys, and I hope that somebody that didn't know something found out something just a few minutes ago.
Back
to you, Mark.
Keep the questions going. Keep the questions being ask questions about things. Keep that flow going. Tell your neighbors, tell your friends, tell your family, whoever you possibly can to get that information out, because as we make them more uncomfortable, and it exposes what they're trying to do here. We talked about it the other night where the whistleblower from the CDC, they shut him up. They shut him down. He was telling you we had actual notes and footages from a doctor saying, hey, this stuff is bad. This is wrong. And then to top that all off, we had a dentist saying that he's trying to remove all the old fillings that had mercury in them because of the health hazards. So those are just some of the things that we found out here in the last week. I'm sure there's tons and tons more that can get looked at. So, but as far as that, guys, I am sure later on here, sometime this summer, we'll be going back on this and touching to see what have changed. But one thing is, I want to get everybody going in the chat. I see they're busy chatting and I'm missing out. Freaky, great to see you. Sybil, thank you. If I missed you. If you guys do have questions for us, please write them in all caps. I do have bot shut off so that he won't boot you out. So if you have a question, type in there your question at Rolling Homestead or at Micro Homesteaders. It'll pop in big orange letters and let us know that you have a question. So,
and what you said, Lady T, about the home birth, absolutely. Don't let them get a hold of your babies. Because within 12 hours of birth, they're going to shoot them up with 12 shots. And all of them just don't make it. So
the thing that Moon said here is, anyone discuss what they're going to do if they force the vaccine to become enforced? And that's a lot, that's a very good question. because we can say, you know what, I'm not answering my door. I'm not going to do that. There's people that have used the religion card and saying it's against my religion. But when it becomes a law, everything becomes a lot harder. You know, you can hide, you can pretend that you're not home, but then there becomes a warrant for your arrest. And if you go to the gas station, you go to the grocery store, they can pick you up at wherever it is. So it is a legitimate question, guys, that you need to think about and what you're going to do. And right now I don't have all the answers on that because you know I can say no, I'm not going to, but at some point in time it's going to become law.
I'm afraid that if we don't do something, it's just going to happen. I mean, like everything else, you know. If we don't stand up,
exactly,
we're going to have
stand up now.
I mean, think about what they've done over in France. Some of you guys that know what's going over there with the yellow vests, something like that needs to happen here in this country. I mean, there's a guy, his handle on YouTube is the Seething Frog. Go look at what he's been talking about. He's talking about going out. If we got things like this that we don't agree with, show up. Even if you don't get to say anything, but show up at all these places that you can and make it known that there's 50 or 100 or 200 or 1,000 people out of 10,000 that don't like what's going on. But if we don't say something, there's nothing that's going to happen. You know, we've got no way to fight it.
That's the bottom line is getting this information out, sharing these videos out, sharing the video out with Dr. Brown. Them are good ways to tell all your friends, all your family, hey, you might want to take a look at this. And let me tell you, they're all, you know, if they're anything like I'm used to, you're nuts, you're crazy, everything else. But at least you gave that opinion to get out there. So.
Yeah, I just put the Seething Frog into YouTube. If you do a search, he'll pop right up, and he's got some pretty good ideas.
Survival's got a question: are written letters of complaints more legal binding than emails? You know, emails are traceable. A letter is one to the other person. So at least with an email, I think you got paper trails, you got copies. So if you're wanting to try something, you have that better with an email and technology, but. With letters, I mean, unless you go to the bank and get it notarized and stuff like that, I don't know how the legal document and stuff would work.
Personally, written emails, letters, they can't hurt, but I think 100 warm bodies at a local county council would make more would help us more.
Right.
Warm bodies, yeah. Get out there and show up any place you can where they're talking about this kind of stuff.
Promise and Homestead, thanks for coming by and joining us. Glad to see you. So the next thing that we want to talk about, guys, we've been pounding on this MMR vaccine and the shots here for 2 days now. The next thing that I want to talk about is we're going to go into the MARC files here and some of the disturbing things that we've seen here. And one of the things is Russia's come out with a big play. They just showed their new nuke sub that has drone capabilities with nuclear warheads. And here's the statement from that. So we're going to go through this. It says Russia unveiled one of its nuclear submarines on Tuesday, launching its first submarine capable of firing high-speed underwater drones armed with massive nuclear warheads. The first project submarine, described as a special-purpose nuclear-powered vessel, was launched from Samas shipyard in northern Russia, the government's new outlet. So you guys can go find this on, like I did. It's pretty simple, but isn't that a little bit disturbing to you? And granted that I'm sure the United States have not been playing everything that they have, But Russia just put up their trump card here. They're stating that they have this sub. They've got pictures of this sub. They launched this sub with nuclear-powered drones. Okay, now I start to see an issue because if you think about what we're talking about here, you've got somebody flying this thing. Like if I'm at home flying my drone around the homestead here, and somebody goes to shoot that drone out of the water, and you're underwater, those like a torpedo or anything like that is from point A to point B trajectory. That drone can go right around that.
Oh yeah, and I don't know exactly why they played that card. I don't know if they're just trying to. I don't know if they're just trying to let us know that their technology is as good as ours. I'm not sure that we've got the same one. We may, and I would certainly hope that we're up to par with them. But I think they've got something going on with the fact that they're putting this out like this, and if anybody sees anything about it, let us know.
Here it is, too, guys. Here it is again. You can get a good look at that picture.
That's from the. That was from the Free Beacon, I think, wasn't it, Mark?
This is actually from, Washington, the Free Beacon. Yep. So this is actually pretty scary stuff here, guys. Think about that.
Drones with nukes.
Yeah. This is getting into they're. You got to remember, Putin is like a mass chess player. He's a master at it, and he's always looking 4 to 5 moves ahead of everybody else. So Putin's thought on this is like, okay, now I'm showing you. Is he playing the card as I don't want to use this? I'm just showing them to you so that you see what we have and you leave us alone? Is he playing that card, or is he saying there's something going on that I need this out in the water? Now, at the same time, is the U.S. saying, we already have that, but we're not going to show you everything that we have? The problem that I have is that in the last 8 years, we had a certain individual that was taking the funds from our government that should have been going into new equipment, new stuff, and taking that and putting it into his pocket or wherever else it was going, and now we're 8 years behind schedule. That's the part that worries
me. And allowing the nuclear material to be sold to Russia? Yeah, I'm not too keen on that either.
No, certain 2 individuals that are on the top of everybody's happy list, they just go and they sell it. What's the purpose of that? Putin looks after one thing, and that's his country. That's what Putin looks out for. So.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? I hate to brag on him because I'll be accused of colluding with the Russians, but the guy does actually take care of his people.
Yes, he does.
Or at least from what I can tell, anyway.
Merle, tell us a story about the bunkers.
He has built bunkers for all of the population in Russia. Something bad happens that a bunker is going to help, everybody's got a place to go. But that didn't happen here. Now, we do have bunkers in the United States, but they're not for normal people. They're only for the elite. So I respect him for that. I really do.
So the other thing that I wanted to talk about tonight is we talked about a little bit the other night, and one of our guests that were in the live stream last night, Merle, it's too early to be yawning, is the Georgia guide stones. And what I want to show you guys tonight is actually the descriptions that are on the Georgia guide stones that are written in stone. And I want you to pay attention to what this has to say. So the very first comment on there, maintain humanity under 500 million to balance with nature. Okay. Look at what these comments are. And look at number 10. Be not a cancer on the earth. Hey, you think them shots we were just talking about has something to do with that? Balance personal rights. This is number 8. Balance personal rights with social duties. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. Now this is all, this is from the elite, guys. This is their objective. This is what they're looking at right here. Real passion, faith, tradition, and all things that with tempered reason. Now they don't say faith is Christianity. They don't say faith of anything. They just says faith. So that could be the New Age faith. That could be Buddhism. That could be demonic. You don't know what their definition of faith is, but I know where the elite come from and what they believe in, and we're not a part of that. So very interesting. The reason why that I say this, I do have my reasons. The next thing that we wanted to talk to is there's a new planetary defense conference exercise for 2019. And this is going to go through from April 29th to May 3rd of 2019. So a bunch of these guys that are way above my pay grade and my intelligence are all be sitting at a table, and they're going to be talking about the what if scenario and how do we obtain this what if scenario. So you can go through and you can read this article. This is actually, from NASA. At the very bottom here, which is where I think is pretty interesting. So here's Earth's orbit, the black line. I'll bring it up. Here's Earth's orbit. Right now in 2019, they're already stating that there's a possible impact with this meteor on 2027. It's going to run in our orbit. Now there's a reason why I'm showing you this. Oh, snap. I just recently found out about this. It is called the Hammer.
It gave me bad breath. It was so embarrassing. Now I take
commercials. The Hammer spacecraft could nuke dangerous asteroids to defend Earth. So they're talking in this article, either they're going to ram with these ships, or they're going to take a nuclear device and blast it at an asteroid. My question is, what happens when you detonate a nuclear device in the atmosphere, in space? Does it sit there and does it just float around? Does this asteroid break into a million pieces and then rain down on us all over? Do they push it towards the sun? What happens? No one has that scenario. But there is proof out there that they are starting to drill on top of asteroids. They're trying to put stuff in them and trying to move them out of their trajectory. They've been trying this already. And the alarming thing on this whole idea is that the U.S. is in on it, Russia's in on it, and China's in on it.
That's
all
right.
Three of them are working together. Now, China don't usually get along with the United States. Russia, he does his own little thing. But they all see a common threat with this. That's what's making this very interesting. And this has been evil. This was the first time yesterday that I actually heard this on the mainstream media that was actually talked about. And it was about a 30-second clip. That was it on the radio. But otherwise, they're not even talking about this. So if you guys were wondering about the EMP, just take in a scenario. Let's play devil's advocate here. They launch a nuke, this hammer, and it blows up prematurely. And what do we have? We have our perfect EMP. That'll take us back
Oops,
to the
we're sorry.
1800s. Exactly like Merle said. Oops, sorry.
Yep.
The United States has already said that the whole electrical grid is at that point where it would take years to fix. And it's not that hard either. This would all be taken care of with some rubber grommets. But they said that
What?
if they fry their stations and stuff like that, it takes them 6 months to rebuild one, and they have 12 of these in the U.S. and it would take them 6 months just to build one, and they don't have a backup.
Yeah, one of the problems is that they're not all alike, and so they cannot build them ahead of time in case one of them goes out. So that's difficult. But one of the things that is kind of, I mean, you got to have a head like mine to really understand what I'm about to say, and that is, as long as China and Russia and the United States are not exactly friends, but at least getting along, that's going to stop some of this New World Order stuff, I hope. I believe it will, because they don't want it any more than we do. And, that's just something that could be on our side.
So guys,
who knows?
There's a link to the hammer, and I'm going to paste a link to the Planetary Defense Conference.
We got a lot of new people in the chat, or at least they're new to me.
That's because you've been gone for 2 years.
I know. Well, at least a month. But
Let's go into this reading of this hammer. It says the next time a hazardous asteroid lines up with Earth in its crosshairs, we may have a ready threat. Scientists and engineers with the U.S. government have drawn up a plan for a spacecraft that could knock big incoming space rocks off course via blunt force impact or blow them up to bits with a nuclear warhead. Now, does someone say that doesn't alarm somebody? Because where does that go? We saw with some of the weapons that went up and they made a big plume cloud, and it comes down and drops and blows off miles and miles and miles of land and everything else. What happens in space? Where does it go? Does it just disappear, dissipate, or does it just float around? Them are some of the questions that I would be asking. So the research announced the concept vehicle known as the hypervelocity asteroid mega blah 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 synonym hammer in a study in the February issue of the journal Astronomy, and the team will discuss hammer as an asteroid research conference in May, according to this news article. All right, so they got from April 26th or whatever I said it was, April 29th, until May 3rd, they're going to be talking about this. Each hammer aircraft, which weighs about 8.8 tons, and an asteroid threat is detected early enough. So if it's detected early enough, and if they can get them up in space, a fleet of these vehicles could be dispatched to collide with them, doing it nuke-free or detonate.
That's just wild.
Yeah, that's crazy. There's a reason why we've been trying to go and getting these nuke treaties, okay? Because no one wants to be the person pulling that pin and saying, let's launch one of these things, especially on Earth. I have no clue what would happen if they would do that in our atmosphere. But I can tell you one thing, if you look in this towards the biblical terms, when everything turns red, when the moon is darkened, there's no sun, there's no nothing, it's starting to make me wonder.
One of the other things that's kind of scary too is, what was it, 6 months ago? They actually put out a thing that said stock up on food and water just
Yep.
in case we have an EMP. Well, that's when they get to the point to where I think at one time they wanted you to have 3 to 6 months worth of food stocked up, which is something all us preppers do anyways. But when they start talking like that, to me it looks like it could be something that they think is serious.
And the thing of it is they're serious enough that you have China, you have Russia, and we're all big happy family that we can't get along. But there's this one common threat that is out there. And that's what's got me thinking. Is there's got to be, Moon says it in here, there's something behind the rock threat. There's something there. Because number one is if you think about it, if I go up there and I launch, and this is just my opinion now, if I go up there and launch a nuke, oops, I missed, and I just put everybody back to the 19th century because now no one's going to have electricity. You're taking care of just what I showed you in the Georgia Guidestones. You're knocking down that population because only the strong or the prepared are going to survive. That goal is going to be met. At some point in some time, the elite is going to hit their match. And no matter how you look at it, that's what they're going to try to do. This is just a scenario. And guys, I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball in front of me, but it's making common sense to me right now.
They, was it 500 million they want left
Yep.
on Earth? That's, gee, what? Sometimes these numbers get rattled up in my head, but it seemed to me like we had 320 million.
I'm looking right now.
And I don't think they're going to, like I put it in the chat a while ago, they're using everything that they can throw at us to take us out right now, including the GMO food and all the other trash that they sell at the grocery stores. And I do mean it's trash. Anything that, I always have to say this at least once during a live stream. Raise all the food you can, even if it's one tomato plant out on the patio,
Okay,
Everything
so here,
helps.
if we have a nuke device in space, that's not just going after the United States. That's the whole world, okay? Here's a chart as of 2019. There's 7.53 billion people in 2017. Now, we'll get into, I just thought this was, so life expectancy is going to be 72 years old. Gross domestic product, population growth, 1.2. That's pretty low. So the United States is 3.25 million. China is 1.386 billion. India, 1.339 billion. So you see a problem with them numbers, Merle?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the problem is they're too high for the elite.
Exactly.
So, yeah, and there again, it's one of those things where if you see somebody that's trying to kill you, you just got to figure out a way that you can avoid that. And a lot of times, just speaking up and showing up is part of it.
Big Al, thanks for coming in here. And he says it right here. Take the number of people living in the cities and coastal regions. Most will die within a few weeks of no power. New York will be the worst. Millions there are in tons of food. Okay, so there's another thing, too. So you have all these dead people laying around. You have all this rotten food hanging around. So guess who's coming in? Is you going to have pests? You're going to have bugs? Disease? And that'll just spread like wildfire.
Yeah, it's going to get really bad really quick if something like that does happen. I think they said that in the end there would be like 90% of the population gone. So that would probably leave them with about the number that they want. So I don't know, and you know, it seems like we're out here trying to scare everybody, and that's not what it's all about. I just like to wake people up to the fact that you know there are some things going on that you ought to know about, and that's the big thing.
Allie's back, and as she just said, I tried to warn others. They doubt this will ever happen. Well, you know, when when it gets into the mainstream media and people start talking about this, it's past it's past it's going to happen. It's now just a matter of when it's going to happen because the mainstream media is starting to talk about it. They're starting, and the only time the mainstream media wants to talk about anything anymore is because they're getting hammered right now with everything about fake news. So they're really looking into this really hard, and I've looked at some really very good information. I go and check out our Marf Noogle News and stuff like that. So I've heard it in other areas too. So it just wasn't at a fly of the seat of the pants that I started looking at this stuff. It was I was told about it. I went back and did my research on it, and lo and behold, what do I find? There's a whole lot of stuff out here, but it's buried. You got to look for it. And that's the problem is everybody wants to pick up a device, and if it isn't on that device, it's not true. And that's where we're going to get into problems. But if it does happen, it's going to happen. Either it's going to happen very slow or it's going to happen really quick. But you can already see the states, you know, New York City, New Jersey, they're already starting with this shot stuff. That's already starting. That's been talked about for a year and a half already. Very slow. And now you can actually see this in mainstream media. So this stuff is happening, guys. It is happening. So make sure everything is right. Make sure you got your T's and your I's crossed because at some point in time, we don't want to be sitting around caught with our pants down. And I'm sorry for the expression, but we don't want to be the ones sitting here and going, well, we heard that, but we weren't ready.
Yeah, the Real Love Festival survival talks about a fake alien attack or a fake meteor attack. Oh, yeah. I think that is something that's very high on the list of things that could happen. I really do. A fake alien attack
Where'd you find that?
in chat.
Oh,
Yeah, I have seen where people have been talking about things like that. Fake alien attack. Sure. Yeah. Don't be surprised if you look up in the sky and you see something that you think is real and it's not. And I forget what they call it now, but they have ways of projecting things into the sky, like they are able to, if they want to, make half the population think that Jesus is there when he's not. So believe nothing of what you hear and very little of what you see.
it says, good to see you, RG. Glad you were in here. It's a very weird situation, and like Merle said, we're not here to, you know, all doom and gloom. But at the same time, we are all like-minded, and some of us all, if not all of us, are somewhat of a prepper concept. And make sure that you got your things correct, and everything is all top notch, tied down, locked in, and ready to go, because you don't know when something's going to happen. And most importantly, get yourself right with the Lord. Make
Amen.
sure that everything is tied together and that is your first and foremost. Because you know what? If something bad happens, you lose your preps, you lose your food, you lose everything. You still have one person that I'm always thankful that I have on my side.
That's exactly right. The power of prayer is something you just can't beat. And you know, we can sit around and talk about all this stuff, and what we can do to try to make things better. We might have 5 years worth of food and a million rounds of ammunition and all the stuff that we think is just going to help us. But in the end, only God knows, and usually He won't tell.
It's all
So
God's timing, not it's God's timing. It's not our timing. And that's where you got to remember too is that we're not living the world. If you read in First John, or actually I think it's in the book of Luke, where the devil says, and he tempts Jesus on the mountain. It says, "Here, I'll give you all of this." This land is not yet cleansed and not clean, and this is not part of God's era. We're the minority here. We live in a somebody else's land as a Christian view. And that is why this is his playground right now. And he's bounding. He knows what's going to happen in the end. He knows he's got a short time. He knows he's going to try to take as many people as he possibly can. And he can tell lies. He can tell movie singers and country singers, music singers, however you want to say it, I'll give you a good voice, and if you just bow down to me. So these things are not far-fetched if you look at it through a biblical standpoint. There you go.
Aleister Crowley on his deathbed spoke some very eerie words, something to the effect of, "What a huge mistake he made." I have to check that out, Moonface.
Aleister Crowley was one of the Satanists, and he thought that he was going to be blessed and given this big environment by Satan. And once again, Satan showed a lie. Look at the lie he said in Garden of Eden. So that's what I'm saying, guys.
Yeah.
Is just you know what to do. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in this chat. But we just want to make everybody aware of what's going on, because it is changing. It's changing rapidly, and they're not only are they shutting down YouTube channels that are talking about this, big channels and little channels, because the more information that gets out there, it has some impact on them. So if they shut them down, that's one less person to be yakking about it, and one less person that can get it out. But there's more power than just the YouTube. We can actually talk to friends, family members, people that we know, people that we care about.
Yeah, Mark titled this live stream "FEMA Prep for Asteroid Russia's New Attack Sub." I was thinking about that when he was typing it in. I don't know if YouTube's going to like that or not, but we'll see, I guess. Yeah. Well, you gotta kind of push the envelope a little bit once in a while.
Who said that one?
What's that?
Oh, that
The title. Your title, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, aside from the fact that Merle is back, that could be enough right there to get you kicked out.
And another thing, guys, is there is a lot of new people in here that Merle's got to get caught up on, and I'm sure tomorrow morning he'll sit through and hook up with you guys all. So he's been gone for a while. But if some of the people that are in my chat, this is my partner. If you've never seen him before, this is Merle from Micro Homesteaders, and this is what we normally do. We talk about things that are happening, put thoughts in your guys' mind. And that's not the fact of just put them in your mind. It's just we want you to go out and get that information and try to look and find it for yourself. And the homesteading, we try to help with growing your food, getting yourself sustainable, because I had a good friend of mine always tell me that it's better to thrive than just survive.
Yeah.
And that made a big, big impact on me, because that really does mean a lot, those words right there. If we can thrive and just not survive, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's I kind of feel like if we just keep talking about it, it'll wake some of those people that out there that are asleep. Maybe somebody in the chat will just happen to say something to somebody that doesn't know what's going on, and maybe that'll, if we only get to one or two, hey, that's better than what we had before. So, that's all we can do is try.
Yeah, Moon, we haven't talked to Merle in months, have we?
Who said that?
Moon says, we missed you, Merle.
Oh, I missed you guys too. I don't know. I think I've probably been a little on the lazy side, and we've been busy too. A lot going on. Last week, if I'd have been here, you couldn't have understood a word I said because of the allergies, but we had some rain and it kind of beat some of it down, so it wasn't too bad today. But it was rough this morning. Golly.
Merle, make sure you type in the chat there so people can grab your link that are new in here. So
I thought that guy called the Nightbot was supposed to take care of that. I'm just kidding.
I haven't seen him popping up there for a while. I think you know what happened, Merle? This is kind of funny. I think my Nightbot has an infatuation for Sandy K because he keeps typing in there, "I love you, Sandy K." I think he lost his mind. He lost his whole memory.
Yeah, it could be. I was pretty sure he was a real person there for a while. I don't think it's a bot. But Sandy K's been good to him. Yeah.
He just Nightbot slacking. Yeah, he's been. I think he's got the whoos for you, Sandy. You better watch out.
He's claiming that he didn't get paid last week too. So I don't know. I mean, if it was a bot, he wouldn't worry about the money, would he?
Right.
I don't know. It is good to be back. I've enjoyed being here. We've had a really great crowd in the chat. I've tried to be in there as much as I could. Thanks, Lady T. I think I already took care of that on your end, and if not, I will. But lots and lots of good people in there. All the old people, good to see everybody. And, Saturday night, I think, is going to be better at the 5 o'clock slot, too, than at 7 where we were before, because there's too many people. Seems like everybody that is anybody at all is doing a live stream at about 7 or 8 o'clock.
Yeah, about 7 o'clock they come on. So that was one of the reasons why we changed it. We wanted to see what happens, and stuff like that, see if it works out. Guys, don't forget, please hit the thumbs up and actually share this thing out. The more people that we get on here.
Thank you, Sandy. And I thought that I was able to make people moderators, but I don't know. I guess being off a month, you lose some of your of your juice. I don't know.
Who are you trying to make a moderator?
But oh gosh, let me get back here, see if I can find. There's a couple in here that I actually know that aren't, but we'll take care of that later. Why don't we just leave the cities, Sodom and Gomorrahs? Well, a lot of us have already done that. Yeah. We, my wife and I have been married will be 51 years. Oh, gosh. Next week. I'm glad I said that.
Yeah,
I was about to
forget that one.
51 years next week, May the 3rd. And we moved to the country about, 40 years ago. So, nothing like it. Raising kids in the country is the best thing you could ever do for them, if you can do that. Absolutely, no question. But I tell you, even bad things sneak into good neighborhoods. It's always been better in the country because you kind of get away from all that. You got to do this and you got to do that kind of stuff. But they've come to the conclusion now that we're going to have these shots come heck or high water, and I'm just not for it. I, for one, won't do it. And I hope there are many out there that feel the same way I do.
Thrills Love Festival Survival, thank you. Yes, we are two brothers in Christ, and there's a ton of people in here that are also brothers and sisters in Christ. So it's a good chat. One of the things like I wanted to tell everybody now that we are back, you guys participate in the chat. Yeah, you see a lot of blue wrenches. Hey, Iron Dog is in the house. Great to see you, buddy.
Yeah. Good to see you, Iron Dog.
There's another one. You participate. You get close friends of the channel, stuff like that, and then we give a wrench. I'm not one to. Another reason is because Nightbot has a problem with parentheses. I'm weeding them out. I'm trying to use them for more promotional purposes and stuff than that instead of a moderator, as you can see. And then he lost his brain, and now he just loves Sandy K. But we're working on things. But anyway, as you become part of this, we will give you a wrench and a blue, be a part of the clan. Thanks for coming in here.
The country is how we were meant to live, stay connected. Yeah, I'm with you all the way. If I had to live in a city, even a small city, I don't think I could stand it. I just don't.
We were lucky enough and blessed enough when me and Moon were able to move out here in the country and buy the homestead and do the things that we were and get away from the city and get away from the riffraff. In case something would ever happen, we're far enough away, I think, that it would make someone very uncomfortable to get this far. But at the same time, you're going to have some people that are going to venture, so.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, this is where they're going to try to get to, out into the country, away from the city, because the cities are going to be so bad that, you're either going to be dead or running away from it. And if you're running away from it, you're running right straight towards us. So,
Keith.
And
Nightbot puts
what's
in there,
that?
I love you, Sandy K, and Keith puts in there, not as much as I do, Nightbot. I told you he's lost his mind.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. Sandy K, you're going to have to straighten up now. That's all there is to it.
Sandy K,
Yeah, she's trying to change the subject now. I hope we get to do some planning too. But according to the weather forecast, we're supposed to get rain about every 12 hours here for the next week. I don't know what's going to happen. Oh, gee. I was going to answer somebody up there a minute ago, but I can't remember now who it was or what it was.
Out of Josh Homestead. Wow. I do not have you. That's
We're
amazing.
just kidding, Sandy.
But I will. You are.
That's pretty cool. Where'd you find Nightbot at, anyway?
Oh, I just was online. Out of Gosh and Homestead, do you have a first name that you like to be called by? Or most of us people that are in here are on a first name basis. Most of us. Mine is Mark. Others people have also said Rolling. That's another one that if you'll see me around in YouTube land, they'll say, "Hey, Rolling." If you got a first name, huh?
I'll just call him Goshen until I'm told different.
Oh, shoot, yeah.
Like Land of Goshen.
But thanks for coming in here, and thanks for being part of the homestead. And you now have a new subscriber. I will be going and checking your videos out here after the chat.
Yeah, I can't get over what a great chat we've had. And what I think about it the most is, as near as I can tell, everybody has pretty much the same thought processes. We're all coming from the same place, trying to do the same thing, and most of that just, ooh, golly. Out of Goshen Homestead. That is a beautiful, beautiful
Channel, eh?
channel, man. Yeah.
All right,
Talk
guys,
about bright and cheery. I like that.
Yeah, we're gonna. One thing I like to do on my channel is go through these channels that come into our chat. Kind of like a major shout out, if you want to say. So, guys, this is out of a Ganache Homestead, if I say that right. Goshen. I want to mess it up. Beautiful, beautiful channel, guys. Here it is.
Yeah.
Let's move it over so you guys can see it. And there they are. So if you guys want to go and check them out and give them a look over, I'm sure they'd appreciate it.
We appreciate the visit.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And they say it's all about the family. And it is. You know, I started the homesteading and stuff just to give a better environment for my family. And then also to share those with my family. So they got puppies, they got tractors and vegetables and turkeys, and I'm going to learn a lot on that one.
And they got babies, and I don't know that guy there, how he's getting along with that many women, but I wish him luck anyway. Oh, well, that's pretty cool. Eric, Ashley, Naomi, Hannah, and Tovia. Go through questions from viewers for next week's coffee time. Put your questions in the comments below for Naomi. She's excited about answering them for you. Good channel.
They're talking about somebody just put garlic up in there in chat. They got onion and garlic that need to go in. The onion are starting to sprout, but I'm just afraid because of the weather. I got to get it in, but I'm hoping I can get going on it tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know if wife's got garlic in her yet or not. We still have a chance of frost until, I'm going to say at least the middle of next month. So we got to be just a little careful with other than the cold crops.
These guys are underneath the grow lights, but this is the Romas, the Abe Lincolns, and then we have the Wisconsin 55s, and I've got a bunch more, but I'm actually really impressed. We did 1 for 1, so we did the seeding this way this year, and I've actually, with the grow lights and the heat pads and stuff, every single one of them germinated within less than a week, so it's actually turning out really well. And this is Merle. This is our homemade compost dirt. So,
oh yeah, we had. It's kind of funny. We've got a concrete pad out back that is probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 by 20, and there no doubt used to be a building on top of it at one time. But the wife had some manure and some compost brought in by the truckloads one time, and we didn't use it all. It's been out there for a couple of years. Boy, you talk about something good. We went out there and dug all that up off of that that concrete pad, and we had some really super good dirt for the garden this year. Happy to have had that.
Yeah, Keith, we put up, we did 400 last year, and I think I got 300 yellows. And I think I got 200 whites I'm going to put in this year for onions. And then I probably easily could do 100 because I got all my garlic from last year if I wanted to. But onion and garlic are really good things. They're like salt and pepper, they work really well with each other.
Did you grow big onions?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, they were. You see them on our entry.
Oh, I did see them.
Yeah,
I did see them now. Yeah.
One thing I found out with the reds is they just seem I couldn't get them to cure and hold for the winter time, as well as like we still got squash from last year that's holding real well. I could not get the reds to go as long as the yellows. It seemed to just preserve a lot better. And I didn't make a sandbox. I probably should downstairs in the cellar. I know a lot of people say you put them in the sand, but I gotta try that.
That's something that I need to do too. We've got just a little bit too much moisture in the area where we try to store stuff like that, and I think the sand would help. So, yeah, good idea.
Yeah, Keith, we got potato farmers around us all over the place. So I do want to try what are them yams? What do you call them? Potatoes. Moon, what do you call them potato?
Sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes. I tried them last year, didn't work so well. I guess I'll try them again this year, but I want to go and grow some yams. We can get potatoes all the way around us. That's not a problem. But yams is a different story.
Yeah, they store well too through the winter, and boy, they're really good for you. So we try to get all we can. We didn't do so well with them last year either. And Freaky was talking about he planted some walking onions, and he thinks they walked off because at harvest time there wasn't anything there. I think that's what happened to our potatoes. We had some beautiful plants, but we didn't have any potatoes underneath them. And I noticed that there were a lot of other people who had the same problem. So I don't know what the deal was with that. If anybody does, let us know. Good night, Darrell Love Festival. Survival. Might have to call you Survival until we get a name. Great chat.
Take care.
Good night, everyone. And we were happy to have had you. God bless you, and have a good night.
Take care. We'll see you next one. We'll be on Saturdays at 5, and then I do mine at nighttime on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays after 10. Usually we start about 11 o'clock for those late sleepers.
Yeah, who knows? I may sleep late one day next week and visit.
Hey, there we go. He's getting a tick back, guys. He's got to be on here. See, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I got the bug again. Seems like everything worked out well.
Yeah.
Had a good chat. We got some information out that we had been wanting to get out. So
Keith says it's going to snow here tonight. Jeez. Well, you guys can keep it down there.
You too, Freaky Geek. Good to see you.
Take care, Freaky. Glad
And
you could come in.
maybe one of these days we'll hook up the Zoom room and bring some people in and have a big visit. That would be kind of neat.
And guys, we're gonna now that I got my pilot's license, we have the new drone, which helps the outlook in the of the environment around here will change once everything starts to green out and look totally different. But I'm really looking forward to playing with the drone and getting some flights in and showing some footage of that. I think it'd be really neat. One of the things is that what's really cool is in the springtime here, we have flocks of hundreds and hundreds of geese that land in the fields around us. And I'm going to try to see if I can get sneaky and get up above them and come down and get some pictures of that. I think that'd be kind of cool. So,
Sandy K says it would be good if we could all have a meetup somewhere, and I agree. We are surely spread out awfully bad, though. It could be difficult.
well, the funny thing is that that might come true sooner or later if everything goes right. So, it might end up being we're only an hour away.
That would be nice. Now, Sandy K is, she's over there with you, pretty close to you, isn't she? Or I forget. I can't
Sandy's
keep track
in
of everybody.
Kentucky.
Kentucky. Oh,
She's by
gosh, she's
you.
closer to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Well, you'll just have to drive over here and we'll have a big meetup
There you go.
somewhere on the Indiana-Kentucky border.
Guys, too, if he does, if you guys don't know that, Keith Iron Dog there, he does morning live streams. For me, it's like at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
But good place to go and meet people and chat and hang out and drink coffee and stuff like that. So please look him up, check him out.
Lady T, if you get a chance, go on back to Oklahoma. I'm sure you'll be happier there. And Iron Dog at 6:30 is the middle of the night for me. I don't know. I guess I could get by on about 6 hours sleep, but I'd rather not. Doug Larrabee, welcome. Palm Bay, Florida. All right. Good to see you. Yeah, Oklahoma's a pretty nice place. It really is. I spent a little time there in my youth, and I liked it. I really did.
Yeah, he's
still
only on
don't.
until 9:30, and I'm still getting out of bed at that time.
I still don't think they smoke marijuana in Muskogee. Oh, shoot. Well, that Nightbot, he's been busy, but he did finally leave Sandy K alone for a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be careful with you, Doug. But we do enjoy you coming over to see us. Gee, I don't know. See how long we've been on here? 6, 7, 30, about an hour and a half.
Hour and a half, yep.
We'll be here for a while yet.
About another half an hour, we'll get off about 7, and that's when all everybody else starts coming on. Farm Malls, I think his Farm Mall Fridays, that's on Friday. I don't know if he's got anything going on Saturday, but there's a lot of great channels out here, you guys, that you can grow your channel with. One thing to keep in mind is that YouTube has put out the regulations that you must watch at least 3 minutes, leave a comment, do all that fun stuff. Please do that. Just don't click on the button and hit the subscribe and then go your merry way. Please check these guys out. Give them legitimate, decent comments, truthful comments. They'll appreciate it, and you will later on. You'll end up with a subscriber and might turn out to be a true friend and somebody that you can have a good time with, and it's always a plus. So
Well said. Yeah, they if you just hit the subscribe button, YouTube will take that away from you. So they're getting pretty sharp at trying to keep up with all the things that we do to try to make things easier. But yeah, well, whatever. Like Mark said, if you give somebody 3 minutes, you could make a friend for life. You never know.
T says I sold the hot dogs today, and I'm beat, made some money, but earned it. I bet, buddy.
Good.
I don't know that.
Well done. Oh, yeah, everybody asks me what I've been doing. Well, on the rainy days. I know that some of you are going to laugh, but that's okay. 71 years old and decided that it's finally time to learn how to play a guitar. So, yeah, my fingers are just about ready to bleed. And I've been doing this now for almost a week, and I'm not able to play a song yet. So
Well, I'm
I
waiting for
don't
you
know.
to come on here and do your first official video.
Oh, I'll do that one of these days. Yeah, because I've made up my mind that I'm going to stick with it this time till it happens. So if there are any guitar players out there, we should get together. You should teach me something. Yeah.
Yeah, Keith, I don't know
That's-
about the channel love. I've heard so many different things now. People don't want you to say this or don't say that. To me, I just think if you spend time in that channel and you participate in the videos and you leave a comment and you watch at least 3 minutes, I think that you become, you're mentioning back and forth, great video, stuff like that, and you become a friend. Just like I became friend with you guys, and same way all the way around. You get to know the person, you get to spend time with him in his live streams. It makes a big difference. Our live streams, like everybody had noticed, is more laid back. If you go to Green Bay Wackies, it's full of energy. It's full of music, songs, laughter. However you want to look at it, it's high speed. You go over to Poosa's channel, you get the 200 or 100 to 200 people in there. The chat's moving so fast that your eyes are blurry. You can't read anything. You're gonna pick up if you just participate in there. You're gonna pick some people up. Are they gonna stay?
Yep.
That I can't tell you. I know the people that are in here. Once they get to know you, they're gonna stay. They're gonna be part of your channel, and you'll have a subscriber for life. And that's kind of how I look at things.
I have to agree. Most of the people that have showed up in our chat for our live streams have stayed.
Yeah.
They come back. So
We were gone for a long time with me working, and I was working all that overtime, so I didn't get too much time for the YouTube thing. Hopefully that's in the past, and I can get back to what I was doing. So we should be here all the time and keep going. And sometimes we do talk about the OBS and some of the tricks of the trade that I've learned, and some things that can help you guys if you want to do your live streams and incorporate OBS and have a partner. And I'll tell you one thing, guys, too, for live streams, it's a lot easier to find someone that's like-minded as you are to help you with your live streams. It was a blessing to find Merle, and I don't know if everybody here knows the story of how I found Merle, but he came to my very first live streams way back when. If you go look back, I didn't even have the green screen. I had none of this stuff. I was just doing open with a camera and talking. And YouTube decided to give me a 3-month timeout, and Merle said, "Hey, why don't you come and live stream on my channel?" And that's how we became really good friends. And we talk as much as we possibly can, make sure that he didn't fall down and hurt himself or overwork himself. I got to check into him, make sure he's okay. So That's what I mean. You're gonna meet some really good people and get good friendships out of it. And that's the awesome part about it.
No kidding. Yeah. And thanks, the Real Love Festival, Survival. Thanks for sending that link. So this is a recording from a gig at Core Arts London. So are you in the UK? If you're still here.
Yeah, Kevin, that was pretty funny. Kevin's Iron Dog says, "I remember that time out you got." Yep. And let me tell you, it's a painful 3 months. If anybody has ever tried that and had that happen to them, it is a painful 3 months because when you start live streaming, you start getting into it, and then all of a sudden it's taken away from you, it gets very painful.
Yeah.
But you also learn from your mistakes too.
Well, that's been, year ago. More than a year ago.
More a year ago, yep. It's kind of funny, actually. And guys, if you haven't noticed on our new intro video, I have put names in the very end. Check them out if you don't have them. That will change weekly as we come back into the live streaming and we get new people in here and stuff like that. That will change. So, but go check that out. See what you think.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's really difficult when you're trying to do 2 or 3 things at once. But I can handle it.
Lady T, I love you, Nightbot.
Uh-oh, yeah, that's all right.
That's how Nightbot rolls.
Well, I'll tell you, he's been ornery this evening.
Hey, look at that. He says, great channel. Go check out Micro Homesteaders.
Yeah, he's a good man. That Nightbot's a good man.
Now, did he get it right this time? I think I'm going to try to click on it. Oh, nope. We'll have to highlight it.
Are you kidding me?
You got it wrong again. See, I told you it wasn't a usable link. He's faulty. Let's go check it out.
He says it wasn't a good link.
Yeah, not a good link.
Oh. I think you got to take that. You either got to add the HTTPS or take out the www.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I got to subscribe to 2 or 3 people here before they get away from me.
Dang Nightbot.
Got that one.
Sandy says Nightbot's cheating on me, LOL.
Oh, no. That's terrible. I'm sorry, Sandy. If you need somebody to talk to, just call us up.
Take care, Keith. Thanks for stopping in here, buddy. We'll see you on the next one.
Appreciate it. Yep, we sure do. Appreciate it. Okay. We got things ironed out again. Poor old Nightbot. He's just... I don't know what to think about him, really. He just can't get my address right. Let's see. What am I going to have to do to get that?
He says, good night, Nightbot and Sandy.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious.
Thanks, Keith. Got your bell rung.
Lord, they're good people. I don't know. We, if you'd have caught us, I don't know, at the first this thing, you would have thought we were going to go off the rails, you know. But it's kind of settled down a little bit. We had something to say, and we said it. So we'll just.
Yeah, it's glad to be back too, Sybil. Glad to have Merle back. Makes the live streams a lot better, and yeah, like I tell everybody else, it does. If you really truly looking into getting to do live streams, finding a partner to help you. You can ask Merle how long the time it is that we sit and we discuss things and setup and stuff like that. That kind of gets, I'm not even going to say how long I was up last night setting things up, but then you go on to today and to get this rolling. But it's well worth it. I'm glad to be with everybody here and to get some information out. So
It just takes a whole lot of the frustration out of trying to do a live stream, especially if you got other things to do, like show videos or other things that you can do while doing a live stream. If you've got somebody that can help you and maybe take up a few seconds talking to the chat while you're trying to get everything together, it just, oh my goodness, it's just so much easier. Really is. Do you suppose Nightbot has convinced anybody that the shots are bad?
Makes them think, don't it? He's making them think.
Well, I guess that's good.
Hey guys, has Nightbot made you guys aware that the shots are bad?
Oh, boy, sure don't want Adam Schiff to hear us talking like that. He's liable to send a SWAT team after us. No, I won't say anything bad about his name now, But he is definitely a little Adam Schiff, for sure. Oh, I do like that Dr. Bergman, though. Man, I tell you, he is a bad man. He really has lots and lots of information in that brain of his. And, I'll tell a little story about him. He was ran over by a car about 20 years ago or so. And I think he broke both legs and maybe a hip and his sternum. And, he was really tore up. And to come back the way he has is a miracle in itself.
Yeah, freaky.
So,
I watch a lot of crime TV. I know shots are bad and shots are deadly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so well, I hear you. It's gonna, we're gonna try to play it the best that we can here. Planting season's coming up and stuff like that. But once everything gets rolling, we should be back on track. Messes with you, Merlebot.
Yeah. I tell you, he's ornery. He's been on there for I don't know how many days now, and he has never got my address right. I don't know what to do about him. I don't know what to do about him. But at least he mentions my name. Maybe they go look for me. I don't know. Oh, well. I'm going to have to bring my wife back in one of these days, too, and or at least catch her in the garden. She's been working in the garden while I've been doing other things lately. And going to have to get the camera back out and start taking videos of everything we do. I've still got I guess you call it a high tunnel or something like that. I don't know about high, but it's a tunnel. We call it a greenhouse. I've got one that I got to get put up within the next couple of weeks if I'm lucky. We finally did decide where to put it, and I think that was half the battle.
What about the tree?
I cut the tree down. Tree's gone. Well, it's almost gone. We keep, it was a dead tree. So we've been burning some of it. You still using a fire?
Me?
Yeah.
Nope. I might tonight. It's supposed to. Well, last night it was down in the 30s, but now it's supposed to be back up into the 50s. So I might tonight yet. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, for the most part, no.
What's been happening around here is it's been getting into the 40s. You know, like tonight I think it's supposed to be like 39 or 40. So it just gets cold enough. You need a little something to take the chill off, so you can sometimes just build one fire and kind of let it go out, and then it gets up into the 65 or 70. So, but it beats paying for gas.
See if Nightbot's got it right now.
The address?
Yeah.
I'll have to wait for him to come up. Sandy K put it out there.
At least he's got our live stream times right. Doug, growing hot peppers. What kind of hot peppers are you interested in growing? Yeah, you can go all the way to the extreme for like the Reapers, Scorpion. You can go into the Cayenne, Mexican chilies. You know, yeah, Moon's got to deal with my pepper frenzy that I go into every other year just because I run out of this season, so I got to grow some so I can get some. Like this year, I think we got 6 plants of the Reaper. We got 6 of the Ghost Peppers. We've got Cayenne. I've got Thai. And then we have our jalapenos and some Mexican chilies. The biggest thing with peppers is to get them started and established. Habaneros, I don't grow too much with the habaneros, Doug. Not a big fan of the taste, but I'm sure they're probably going to be the same boat as the Reapers are. So you want to start them 8 to 12 weeks before they go outside. You want to keep them in a humid, hot environment and with lots of sun. And they like potassium and calcium and bone meal. So even with us, with the compost that we make and stuff like that, I should say the chickens make, we really seem to give them a boost. Last year we did really good with peppers. Well, hopefully this year will be the same.
Yeah, we do too, Freaky. When we buy starch, we feel like we're cheating and wasting our money.
You use potato starch.
Uh-oh, there's Nightbot.
Does it work?
Every time I do that,
Hey, it works! I told you
cool.
Nightbot would get it right.
He's a good man, that Nightbot is. Yeah. He's a good guy, really. Yeah. We can just keep him and Sandy K speaking, you know. I think she's mad at him. Yeah, Doug, it's always hot and humid. I never been to Florida when it wasn't hot and humid, but you know what? I live in Indiana, and I tell you, sometimes it's so thick here in the summertime, you just about kind of cut your way through it. Tough. Yay, yeah, it worked. The link's working.
And you said
Don't
he
be
didn't like
talking.
you.
Don't be talking bad about the Nightbot now.
Well, the good
Oh,
news
you know
is
what I forgot?
he didn't kick anybody out this time, so or put him in a timeout.
I just now remembered to hit the like button.
Scorpion peppers are good, so I like the flavor of them.
You know, I like hot peppers, but I just don't like them so hot that I can't taste them. New headline: Hacker finds he can remotely kill car engines after breaking into GPS tracking apps. Yeah, that surprises me not at all.
Yeah, hackers are good at what they do. They're good at hacking.
No kidding, that's fact.
You know, there's so many things that with the new kind of intelligence, or I shouldn't say intelligence, but with the new kind of with the computer system. Another thing, too, guys, that I wanted to talk about here in the last 15 minutes that we have is EMFs. We just recently found out one of our friends, his wife, was highly affected by EMFs. And if you think about it, especially I was listening to Andrew, he's getting headaches, he's getting sickness, and Andrew from Pusa Studios. You sit in front of this stuff 5 days a week, just take an EMF reader. I can just about imagine what comes off this stuff with the lights and the monitors and everything else. It must be just tremendous.
Yeah.
So you guys really need to give yourself a break because it does cause headaches, it does cause anxieties, it does cause a lot of issues, and it can, if you become oversensitive to it, like his wife is now. Now they're going in as how they can block this stuff where they totally shut the electricity out of their bedroom, and they're going to go through each room that she spends a lot of time in and to protect that. But EMF is a serious thing, and if they push this 5G, they're going to put them on every single telephone line and tower, and there's going to be no protection. You're going to have to do something different. So, but they do, I want to say, is they do have blankets to blanket your house. They have little things you can plug into your outlets to help with that. So there are ways now that are out there that do help with the EMF and the UF, or what's a TV one? UF or yeah, UF frequencies also. So make sure you're aware of that. Don't be sleeping next to an electrical box. That's one of his things that he found that the guy talked about. Wires crossed if you live in a house, an older house, and they didn't really run the wires straight. They just kind of nailed them up and they're crisscrossing each other. It can cause big time issues with the electricity in there with the Romex. So them are just some things to think about. But sitting in front of the systems and the computers every day is not healthy for us at all.
Yeah, and I agree. I'm sitting here with two monitors, not 2.5 feet from me, and then a 42-inch TV about 6 feet away. These lights, the overhead lights, I mean, it's just not good for you. And I haven't heard one good thing about 5G except that it's fast, you know. And I
Take care, lady.
personally,
Lady T. God bless. See you on the next
personally
one.
don't need it.
Well, that too in the
Bye, Lady T.
the LED lights too. You know, they're cheaper to run, but they're very, very unhealthy for you.
Which one?
The LED lights.
Yeah, they are. You got to really be conscious of what you're doing, you know. and your surroundings, without a doubt.
No, Doug, I don't know too
He's-
much about anything about with someone that has a pacemaker.
Stay away from your microwave. Oh, that's another thing that we ought to talk about one of these days. Microwaves are not allowed in Russia. There are no microwave ovens in Russia.
I wonder why.
Because Putin thinks that they're not safe.
Yeah, you're just
And I have felt
you're nuking
I,
your food.
I have felt that way for a long time. You think that little screen in front of that thing is going to kill everything, all that that stuff, and not let it out? I don't think so.
Hey, Merle,
Doug
do you
has
know
a question.
anything about the pacemakers? I don't know what EMF would cause with a pacemaker. I know that from the EMT side of things, any kind of electricity or electrical current close to that can cause it to go into like the defib mode. So,
Well, I
I'd have to do
remember
some research on that.
it's been a while, but I remember seeing signs in hospitals where they had microwaves telling people that had pacemakers not to be in the room. So, I would have to give that some real thought. Who's this Micro Homesteaders guy anyway? He must have paid off the Nightbot.
Yeah, he must have.
Musta. Yeah. I don't know about that. Oh,
That's funny. So, guys, another thing too is you guys can use Nightbot as a social link to help you in your YouTube streams and chats.
Moonphase, dirty electricity is what normally comes out of your electrical outlet. And I have actually what is called a, what is it called? Anyway, it cleans the electricity, and I used it for my ham radio. The dirty electricity is literally that. It isn't clean. It's not coming out. I don't know how to explain it, but that's kind of embarrassing.
What?
But that I can't explain dirty electricity.
Oh, moon.
But it is dirty. It really is.
Doesn't
It
smell.
works, but it's not clean, and it will cause some electrical components to not work properly. That's what I was looking for.
Okay, guys. Well, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us tonight, and it's been a very, very fun live stream. Glad to see Merle back. We will be back on again Sunday night, and you will see me on Tuesday night at 11 p.m. So you guys take care, be safe, God bless. And Merle, you got anything?
God bless, and be careful. Be
Take
careful
care,
out there.
guys.
Until we meet again.
Leaving this place, the sun's about to break. You're riding shotgun. The feeling we chase, I'm wide awake. Take me away now. 'Cause I won't go down the same old path again now. No, I've been running out of air, so let me catch my breath. It's making me crazy. If I'm having a good time, don't you blame me. I'm having a good time, don't you blame me. Yeah, this feeling I've got's making me crazy, making me crazy. Yeah, this feeling I've got's making me crazy, making me crazy. So I'm just gonna drive, drive, drive. I'm just gonna drive, drive, drive. I'm just gonna drive, drive. I'm just gonna drive, drive. Wherever we go, we're taking control. The future is ours now. The road never ends. It's me and my friends. These are the good times. And I'm feeling like I could go on forever. And I've been running out of air, so let me catch my breath. Feeling I've got's making me crazy. If I'm having a good time, don't you blame me. Yeah, this feeling I've got's making me crazy, making me crazy. So I'm just gonna drive, drive, drive. I'm just gonna drive, drive, drive. I'm just gonna drive, drive. I'm just gonna drive, drive. I'm just gonna drive, drive, drive.